Have you ever been in a situation where something happens and you just freeze? Not because you're choosing to stay quiet, but because nothing in you seems able to respond. You don't push back, you don't say what you're thinking, you don't stay in the conversation the way you want to. And afterwards, you're left thinking, why didn't I say anything? This is a biggie in terms of the reasons why people struggle with the confidence they need at work. And most people never realize it's not just about confidence. It's about being disconnected from something that you actually need in those moments. And in this episode, I'm going to show you what's really going on, why it creates a low confidence cycle, and 3 simple ways you can start reconnecting with it. My name is Anna Manning. This is the Confident at Work podcast. Thank you for being with me. So, what's actually going on in those moments? The moments where you know you need to say something, you know you need to challenge, you know you need to push back, you know you need to stay in the conversation, but you just can't. Sometimes in those situations, something is required from you, and that's a bit of strength, a bit of an edge, a bit of firmness. You need to be a bit robust. In those moments where there's direct challenge, there's robust conversation, someone's giving you hard feedback, or you need to hold your ground. But in that moment, if you don't have access to that strength, if you don't have access to that firmness, you might just freeze. And it's not because that doesn't exist inside you, it's because you've become disconnected from it. So you're still in the situation, and you're expected to be in the situation and respond. But the part of you that would actually allow you to do that, the strength, the robustness, the firmness, is not available. So the situation requires something from you that you can't access. And in that situation, I see clients freeze, go quiet, hold back, then afterwards judge themselves. I should have said something. I need to be more confident. Why didn't I just make my point? So you go back in next time, try hard again, and the same thing happens. Maybe you stumble over your words. Maybe you just freeze and go quiet. And every time it happens, your confidence just drops a little bit more. I like to think of it as playing a contact sport like football or soccer for our American listeners. There's going to be contact in that game. You are going to be challenged physically. You are going to be tackled. You are going to get knocked off balance. You are going to go up for the same header as somebody else. That's part of the game. And if you're not equipped for that, you don't play properly. You can't. You'll hesitate. You'll avoid. You'll hang back. You won't go in for the challenge when you need to. And not because you don't know how to play, but because you're not set up for the contact. You become afraid of the contact because of that. And work can be the same. Some environments at work or some moments have the equivalent of contact. I'm not talking about aggression. That's something different. But they have moments where you're going to come head to head with someone, right? Like the equivalent of a tackle. There are moments where you're going to challenge and someone's going to challenge you. There might even be moments where someone is like the equivalent of tugging at your shirt, right? They might roll their eyes a little bit or dismiss you. And in those moments, just like when you're playing football, you require that physical presence, that robustness. And if you don't have that, you can't stay in the game. And it's the same for you at work. In those environments, in those moments, you need a bit of strength. You need a bit of something inside that allows you to be there and to say the thing and do the thing and challenge or give the feedback or take the feedback. And you need that robustness and that strength in order to stay there and be in the game. So imagine you're in a meeting and you've got something to say, but the environment is challenging, it's a bit direct, maybe it's a bit intense. And in that moment, you freeze. You don't say what you needed to say, and the moment passes. In that moment, instead of asking, how do I be more confident? I want you to ask instead, what does this situation actually require from me? What do I need inside in order to be in this situation and to say what I want and to do what I need to do? It might be firmness, it might be strength, it might be robustness, it might be resolute. I don't know. Because it might be that you need to reconnect with that thing. strength, firmness, being resolute, being robust, whatever it is for you. And you need to reconnect with it. Because imagine you're playing American football. You've gone out there in your bra and pants, and everyone else is wearing huge body armor and a helmet. And you've got to get in there. You've got to get in there in the middle of that scrum or whatever it is they do in American football. And you've got to tough it out. Now, you're probably not going to feel very prepared if everyone else is wearing all this body armor and you're out there in your bra and pants. You're not going to feel as inclined as you might need to get in there and tackle someone and be in the rough and tumble because you're not adequately protected. So when things are robust, when it is the equivalent of a rugby scrum and you need to stay in it, here's one thing that you can do to reconnect. Think about an area in your life where you already possess that kind of strength and that kind of fire. Is it if someone says something totally out of line to your best friend in a bar and you've had 3 glasses of rosé? If someone was about to hurt your kid, you would be maybe really firm, really assertive. You would come out in force. There would be some fire in you. And it may be that there's another example that's going to be more relevant to you. But I want you to try and find the place in your life already where you possess that fire, or you have possessed that fire, that strength, because that's the version of you, the part of you that is there that we need to reconnect. And then the question becomes, how do you bring that version of you into this situation? And I'm not saying that you get 3 glasses of rosé down and start shouting at someone in a meeting. That is not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is we need to reconnect you with that protection, with that strength. Because right now you're in that meeting in your bra and pants and everyone else is wearing crash helmets and body armor. Start by just imagining it, feeling it. Feel that part of you that would come out in fire and fury if something happened, and bring that part of you to this situation and just see what that version of you would want to do in that environment. How would they respond? How would they hold themselves? Play with it and see if you can really, really turn it up. You're not recreating something new. You're connecting with something that already exists and may have just been squashed or forgotten. And in your imagination, you can take that scenario however you like. So if you imagine the last time that you froze in a situation like that, bring that version of you with the fire and see how she feels about that scenario or he feels about that scenario. Allow them to lead and see what happens. And just hear me say again, this is not about bringing inappropriate behavior or aggression into work environments. It is about, in the background, reconnecting you with the fire and the strength that you need to have inside you in order to go and be in those settings, in those situations where you are required to be robust. So if you keep freezing in certain situations, know this, it is not just about confidence. You might have been disconnected from something that you need in order to be in those environments. And trust me, when that part of you comes back online and it is reconnected back up and allowed to live, you won't have to force yourself to speak. You won't sit there wondering whether you should make a challenge. You'll go for the challenge. You'll go for the metaphorical tackle. When you're connected with that part of you, that strength that you need, you will stay in the game. And everything can change from there. If you want to come and do this work with me, there are 2 ways that you can work with me now. The first is in private coaching, where we're going to go through this, sit down together, one-on-one, and step by step, I'm going to help you access the things you need to feel your most confident at work. The second is the Confident at Work program new cohort is beginning in April 2026. So if you're listening to this in real time and you're a professional woman who likes listening to this podcast, seriously consider coming to join us. If you think I'm going to be listening to this podcast probably for the next year because I know I need it, then you need to be in this program. It takes what you know in the podcast. We apply what you've learned, and the whole program is designed to build that strength in you that you need in order to feel more confident at work. Head to the link in the show notes, click the link and book a time to come and speak to me. And I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident.